Hi, this is Denise and I'm here today to talk about talent shows. It's almost an end of school year rite of passage for many schools. The Grandview Elementary School had the most amazing talent show ever. We actually had a world champion double baton twirler that attended our school, and she was an amazing performer. We had another young boy who was a tumbler, and he ended up, after graduating, going on to work with Cirque du Soleil. We had a little piano prodigy that played Mozart sonatas when we had to sit her up on cushions on the piano bench. We also had some cringeworthy performances, one recorder solo in particular that I will never forget. Our school had about 350 children, and the entire school attended the performance in the gym. And in our school, the talent show was on one of the last days of school. So if you're in Canada and you have school right until the end of June, it would be the last week of June. We tried to aim for about 90 minutes because more than 90 minutes of sitting on a gym floor gets really uncomfortable even for little flexible children. But it could sometimes go home a little longer. So the process starts by sending a note home to the parents and outlining the guidelines. Children, I think it's a really good idea to audition them, and you can either audition with individual classroom teachers, or you can have a committee that comes in after school to audition. I think you'll find more success with the committee doing all the auditions. Individual classroom teachers sometimes are very picky, and sometimes they'll let anybody in that brings back a note. So you're taking your chances with that. But if you have everybody bring back a note and set audition times for perhaps 2 days after school, you'll have the auditions done by the same team of 3 or 4 teachers. So send the notes home. Give them a choice of perhaps a Wednesday and a Thursday between 4 and 5:30 when they can come and audition. And the parent has to know, first of all, that they have to have all the materials that the children will need for the performance. No lip syncing is permitted. We want actual singing. So they have to have a karaoke track. And if a song with words is being used, for example, for a dance performance, the parent has to check that the lyrics are appropriate for school use. So first step, send home the letter, send home a permission slip with the kids. Once you have all these permission slips back, then you have to set up your audition team. And 3 or 4 teachers giving up an hour and a half of their after school time isn't too bad. So on the rubric, we have type of performance, title of the performance, length of the performance, and we want to keep the length to no more than 3 minutes, but 2 minutes would be preferable. You also have to check that it's age appropriate. In other words, the lyrics of the song are clean and it's good. So I would give the scores: 4 is an excellent, 3 good, 2 okay, 1 weak, and you would assess: 1, is the performance well prepared? 2, do they have good stage presence? 3, will this appeal to the audience? Because you want lots of audience appeal to keep your little ones engaged. And 4, is the performance creative? And then you add comments. To me, whether the performance is age appropriate or not is a deal breaker. If it's an inappropriate song, it simply can't go in. So then you send home an audition list and you give the parents the time that they have to bring their child. You also have to tell the parents that they need to come with their child to audition, because you can't have kids running around the school unsupervised, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon there is no teacher supervision in the hallways. So you tell them also on their audition times what the judges are looking for. So the judges are looking for preparation, stage presence, audience appeal, and again, age appropriateness. And if you miss the time, if we have spaces available, you can make up. But if we've run out of spaces, I'm sorry, you will have to wait till next year. So at the auditions, if you're able to, I would suggest copying any of the MP3s or CDs that the students bring in, so you have a copy on your computer. That way, if they forget to bring it on the day of the performance, you already have a backup. After the auditions are done, the judges need to make up the list of acts that will be in the talent show. And I generally will include anything that is reasonably good, because, yeah, give kids a chance to perform. I suggest posting the list of the acts outside your music room door late Friday afternoon. And that way kids have the weekend to get over it if they didn't make the cut. You also need to give a note out to each of the children who got picked. So a note of congratulations, or if there's a few acts that just were not ready for this year, say, I'm sorry, you're not ready for this year. Will you please practice it, and then you can try again next year. And again, try and accept as many acts as you can. So now you can create your program from the list of acts that you have approved. You can use either a student MC or you can have an adult MC. Student MCs are always, it's great to use the kids for this, but it takes more work for you because you have to practice with them. If it's an adult MC, you can pretty much give them the list of the acts and they'll work their way through it. The principal is always a good MC. We've also had radio station hosts be MCs, and that's kind of fun because they're well known in the community. A dress rehearsal is really great if you're able to do it. At Grandview Elementary, there was no dress rehearsal. The performance was it. But you know, it always seemed to work out. We find that the last week of school is really, really busy with field trips and special activities, so the dress rehearsal might not be realistic. If you're able to get the music needed for the show on your computer, it's going to make the show run a lot smoother. So on the day of the talent show, check with all your performers to be sure that they have their music and their costumes, etc. We set the talent show time for 10 a.m. and school started at 8:45. So I would go around to the classrooms at 8:45 and check that they had everything. And then they had a little bit of time to round it up if something had been forgotten. You set up, you test all your sound equipment. And again, set up your video equipment. If you have any classes after the talent show, they love watching it all over again for a second time, especially if they're in it. Call the students who are in the talent show to the gym about 20 minutes before their start time and seat them in order so they're ready to go up on the stage and perform. And have lots of fun with this. You just never quite know exactly what's going to happen on that stage when it's little people performing, but it's many performances that you'll remember for a long time. And who knows, if one of your kids goes on to be rich and famous, you'll have a video of one of their first performances. If you have ideas of how you run your talent show, or videos or photos from your talent show, share them in the Musicplay Teachers Group. We'd love to see them. Or share them with us on Instagram. Our Instagram is Musicplay Online. We also are on Twitter and on YouTube and on Pinterest, so watch for us on all those social media platforms.